Hi, this is Carol Salter. Today I'm doing my podcast from the anthology Red. As some of you might know, I actually am chair of a local writing group called Inspirations Writers Group. We meet in Thanet. Currently we meet on Zoom, of course, and I'm going to start reading from some of our anthologies. We also have yellow, orange, green is missing because I've sold out, and I'm hoping to get some more of those in. In addition to reading my short stories today, I would like to remind people that my latest novel, What If, will be launched on the 29th of May, which is a Saturday. So please stay tuned about the venue, or if we're going to have to do it online if our friend COVID is still prevalent. But I'm hoping I can do an actual launch where you can get signed copies. I'm investigating various places to get that off the ground, so I'm going to put what if there. What if we get a launch? Would be great, wouldn't it? So today, let's see what I'm reading. This was written quite a while ago now, and the first, I'm going to read two in this book. Unfortunately my bookmark's just fallen out. Hang on a second. No. Yes. Okay. So the theme of every piece in this anthology is that it has to have the colour red somewhere in your story or poem. The same with the others, they have to have yellow, orange, green, and we're just launching blue, by the way, which will also be launched on the 29th of May. So without further ado, let's see what colours I found were red. Blood. The blood wouldn't come off. The worst of it had on the palms and wrists, but like engine oil, it had seeped into the craggy seams between her nail and skin, leaving a thin, dark red outline highlighting the nail margin. So much blood had come out of the body. It had exploded like an overripe tomato as the knife, her knife, had pierced the tight, gelatinous body, creating a slit over a foot long. She didn't know how she managed it. The thought of the knife in her hands, of having to put her hands inside the gash she'd made. What was she thinking? But all she had to do was slice open the round shape like a loaf of bread, and the rest would happen naturally. She hadn't stopped to think. There wasn't time. It was one death, or two. She had just reacted. She didn't even consider the consequence of her actions. She'd been utterly unprepared for what she had to do. She'd watched the warm guts spilling out as she plunged her hands inside the dead woman, trying to locate the tiny spark of life inside her. So much blood, and so much of everything else. Liver, intestines. How did a baby grow in such a crowded space, she wondered. The fumbling, the finding, the pulling. She'd forgotten about the placenta. She pulled the thing into the world as its mother's body cooled. A huge dinner plate shape of congealed blood and tissue, and between them, wrapped around the infant's neck and arms, was a gelatinous cord. She hadn't bothered trying to separate the complicated biological contraption. Dragging her coat off, she wrapped the newborn up in its cushion and cord of blood. Resting back on her heels, she checked the face to find out why it was quiet. A pair of clear blue eyes had stared up at her. Without warning, she began to cry. Well, you find out what colours I think of and things I think of with red. Let's see what the second one's called. Scruffy man who works in the chippy. Every day that damn postman delivers a shovel load of letters here, and every day he chucks the bloody red rubber band holding them together on the ground before ramming them through the letterbox. Why does he do that? I watch behind the nets in safety. Why doesn't he push the complete bundle in through the hole? I'm getting sick of collecting his red rubber bands. He'll be the next one if he isn't careful. I fiddle with the string in my pocket. It keeps me from fidgeting, from smoking, from giving myself away. I can't have that. Can't have anybody thinking I've got problems. I watch the postie scamper back up onto the road like the devil's on his back and scurry left towards number 16. Maybe he knows. The smell is getting stronger. I'll have to move the body soon. Funny how it smells okay for a couple of days, like a butcher's shop, then all of a sudden it turns, festers and becomes rancid. I'm not chopping this one up. I'm not cut out for it. That's funny, cut out. I stopped myself chuckling out loud. It took forever to sell it in the chippy too. Sausages, faggots, burgers. Something for the dog, ma'am, nice juicy bone. It's okay as long as it doesn't resemble anything human. Shame I haven't got a car now. Used to be easier with a car. Drop it in the boot, cover it and lob it out over the cliffs. Can't risk a car these days. Too much information. Damn cameras everywhere. Clicking that, recording this. Can't take a bloody piss without them watching. That's the problem with not having ID. No car, no proper job, cash in hand. At least there's no questions, no answers. Neat, tidy, just like me. Another shift tonight, that's good. Need the money. And I can watch out for donors. Maybe do a couple more before I leave this place. There's that nice lady in the red coat walking her dog. She'll do me. Need to get rid of old Smelly here first. She's definitely outstayed her welcome. Maybe doing a bus driver wasn't such a good idea. There you go. They're very short pieces. A lot of the stories in here are a bit longer than that, but you can see what drove me in red. And if you stay tuned for my next podcast, which will be yellow, it's very hard to do it backwards, you'll see what drives me in yellow. Okay. I would like to point out I did offer to do podcasts for any authors or creatives who'd like to have their own podcast on YouTube. At the moment it is free, but you know that could change in the future. So if you want to make use of it, use my contact page on my website, which is carolmsalter.com, all lowercase. Contact me there and we can start a conversation going and work something out. Meanwhile, if you want to buy any of my books, you can also get to them and the inspiration books via my website, which has a link and will take you to my e-store. I deliver anywhere in the world and currently I'm doing quite well in Australia, Germany and Ireland. I look forward to next time. Take care.